This video I'm going to go over how to multiply and divide decimals. Now when you're dividing decimals, you can't have a decimal in front of numbers in your divisor. You need your divisor to be a whole number. So you move the decimal until your divisor is a whole number, and you have to move the decimal the same amount of times in your dividend to make it a multiplied by the same factor of 10. You move the decimal point up to your line, and now we're going to see how many times 25 fits into 850. Well, I know 25 fits into 85 3 times, and 25 fits into 104 times. So my answer is 34. When you're finding a percent of a number, change that percent into a decimal, and the word of means to multiply. So you're going to do 946 times 0.08. You look how many numbers are behind the decimal in your factors, and that's how many numbers need to be behind the decimals in your product. So the answer here will be 7568. Same thing goes when you're finding the 14% of 9.2. You set it up. Now you don't need to line up your decimals when you multiply. Right? Now in this case, there are 3 numbers behind the decimal. So you need to move your decimal 3 times in your product, and your answer is going to be 1.288. Now here, let's see. I need to find out how many times 1.5 goes into 8. I need to move my decimal until this becomes a whole number. So that means I need to move my decimal here the same amount of times. So I'm really finding out how many times 15 goes into 80. All right, well, let's see. 15 times 1 is 15. 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 3 is 45. 15 times 4 is 60. 15 times 5 is 75. 15 times 6 is 90. So this might help me when I'm solving my division later. So I know 15 goes into 80 5 times, because 5 times 15 is 75. I subtract. I get a 5. I bring it down, my 0. Okay, that goes in 3 times, because 3 times 15 is 45. I subtract. I get a 5 again. Okay, so 15 goes into 53 times. And you're going to see that there's a repeating 3 at the end of this number. So my answer here is 5.3 with a repeating bar over the 3. In this last problem, Jessica picked 13.5 pounds of raspberries. Abby picked 18.25 pounds of raspberries. They want to package the raspberries in 2.5 pound bags to sell. What is the greatest complete number of 2.5 pound bags of raspberries they can make? Well, first let's find out how many raspberries they have. In order to do that, we need a common denominator for these fractions. And we find out they have 21 3/4 pounds of raspberries. And they want to divide these into 2.5 pound bags. If you're more comfortable working with decimals, you can transfer these into 21.75 divided by 2.5. So let's see. I'm going to do 2.5. How many times does that go into 21.75? Move the decimal until it's a whole number. So I'm really finding out how many times 25 goes into 217.5. I know 25 goes into 208 times. There's my decimal. And I know that 25 goes into 175. Let's see. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175. 7 times. But my answer here says how many complete 2.5 pounds could they make? They could make 8 complete 2.5 pounds. They wouldn't be able to make a full 9 pound bag. They wouldn't be able to make a full 9th 2.5 pound bag. Wow. Sometimes these numbers get really hard to say, especially when you're on video. Anyway, have a great day. See me if you need extra help.